Okay, as soon as he is done with that tinkering and spit shining, we're going to drive this out and look at how it looks like on this Chevy 1500.
You want it pulled all the way around?
Yeah, no, pull it out front. Got to check their work and make sure it's all good. Look over everything, see all the 1,000 little details that are going to give me a twitch if they're not just so. That's got to go in the truck, otherwise it's going to get forgotten again. Okay, look at that sucker on there. Not bad. That's a 1500 right there. Handling that thing like a champ. This is almost the same truck as yours, dude.
Yeah. Did you get the steps?
The steps are in there, the tailgate isn't. You gotta bring the tailgate. Okay, so here we go, guys. You can see what that looks like on a 1500. You know, we have a lot of these things on several different trucks, but I'm gonna try and do better at showing them on specific trucks, because there's I think that's missing. You know, that's missing with a lot of truck campers and everything out there in different brands, saying, hey, you know, for folks saying, what is that going to look like? How is my truck going to handle that? What does it look like dimensionally? So let's just run over that really quick. So this one right here, you know, many of you guys know the Fishhook at this point. We're building them up here in Alaska. We've been custom manufacturing truck campers for 54 years and in the state here, and we developed the Fishhook based on what all of our customers were asking for. So it's like, well, let's just develop a product. And it started with one gentleman that kind of pushed it over the top, and it was like, you know what, let's go ahead and run with this and get a model put together. So, and that one went on a Toyota Tundra. So this Fishhook originally was built for a Tundra, but most of the time it goes on 2500s and 3500s. And the reason why is up here in Alaska, everyone has a different trailer. Sometimes it's a boat, sometimes it's a you know, the ATVs, it's a flat deck or something. Other times it's a cargo trailer, then even sometimes a travel trailer. And you know, this is just the lifeboat or the camper that makes it easy for the 2, 3, 4 day trips, 5 day trips, and then you get to go out a lot more. So that's kind of what this is. But this is what it looks like on a 2018. Josh, is this a 2018 or a 2017?
What's that?
This Chevy. Let's go look at the door. Let's look at this, and we can look at the Payload while we're looking at it as well. So the Payload here is 1690. That camper is sitting right about 1600, maybe a little bit over. Where's the actual? There it is, down there. It was a 2014 actually. So anyway, I'm thinking 2017 because Josh's is 2017, 2018 time frame. Anyway, so this is tied down inside here, right? We did install the stable loads on this truck. I'm a huge fan of that product right there. What it does is it closes that lower gap in the leaf spring, and it can be engaged and disengaged. So this can swing out that way, that little, once you take the camper off and there's no load, then you can take this little plate with the 3/8 ratchet and disengage it. And so that essentially just, that wedge just slips out like that. And then the truck is on its regular old suspension. After this, I would go to, you know, you can with stable loads do airbag supplement, but I think at that point you're probably overloading your truck. You should do a, you know, a leaf spring or something instead of airbags. But airbags still have their place, just not as common as the market likes to do it. But there you go, guys. This camper, so you can see what that 16 to 1650 looks like. They upgraded with the roof rack. They added the what is it here? The Rhino Rack bag awning. They did the wader, the gear hangers for the waders. I believe they added double solar, and they put the refrigerator in there, so you can see the 12-volt fridge. the Dometic, they decided not to do the porta pot because they have their own, and usually all of these fish hooks come with the strap. Let me get this out of there. Come with the strap for the porta pot, right? But yeah, there you go. They looks like they did a stove. We'll just jump up in here. They did a stove and a sink. Yeah, they've got the regular battery system. That's what every one of them comes with anyway. AC option up top there. Obviously all of these come with the curtains, but anyway, that's what that 1650 looks like, is with those upgrades. These are usually 1540 including the propane system, but you know, like most manufacturers are going to give you your dry weight. Let me look and see if the solar's up there. Yeah, they did double solar. You can see both solar panels. That's 380 watts. But most manufacturers, they come in and they do they give you dry weight, and that dry weight does not include the things perhaps like batteries, the propane, the various things inside the camper, like the steps, the power cord, all of those things that are gonna, you know, even the furnace in many units in this category, they don't include those things that you actually have to have. So it looks really attractive on the base weight, but by the time you're driving down the road and you have your tie downs in there and all of this stuff, and the power cord to plug the camper in and all of those things, guys, you're sitting over 1,500 pounds guaranteed on any 1,500 camper build like that on the market. That's just how it works. But for us, this thing is actually about 1,280 on its dry weight. Then you add in all of the components that you're actually going to have, like your steps included and your power cord and your straps and all of that, and you're going to hit the 1540. So that's where they start. But then these guys, they've got, again, the cooler and everything, and so with all of those, they're at about 1650. And so they're right at Payload with their truck, and that should be just fine for them for this particular setup. Not a problem at all. If there's an upgrade in the future, then you know, it's smart to run these things on 2500s. If you're at the point where you're buying a camper and you're wondering, okay, what are the amenities I need and all of that stuff, you should really, I encourage you to go, if it works in the budget, I encourage always going to a 2500 or larger for a pickup camper, even these 1500 campers, because once you put the demand on the truck for all the other stuff you want to do, you know, you really should have a 2500. But for them, they're towing just a light trailer, nothing crazy, and it works. And I am saying this as a guy who has a 1500. I have a F-150 Ford, right? And it has a little higher payload than this, but by the time I'm all loaded and everything, most of the trips where I just have the camper, it's fantastic, no problem at all. I roll down the road really secure. I feel great about that. But it's when I throw trailers on there and I try to go for the 5-day trips as opposed to the, you know, just the quick 2-day trip, you end up with more gear and all of that, and maybe you're towing a couple of wheelers and everything. That's when really it's smart, you know, to have a 2500. It just is. But yeah, there's other walkthrough videos on these guys. I don't need to go through all of that. But that's the Fishhook on a 2014 Chevy 1500 with a 1,600 pound payload. Well, 1,690, so 1,700 pound payload. That's how it's riding, and that's with the stable loads. And this particular truck, Chevy did a great job on the suspension. We put one on a 2019 or 2020 Chevy 1500 about a week ago. It was a lot like this one, and on its particular trim level, the trim levels are all over the map, guys. On that truck's particular trim level, I was surprised at how much it dropped and how much it felt that camper. And they had a lot more going on than this one. But yeah, anyway, guys, I hope you found that one helpful. That's how that looks on the 1500 Chevy. Look at that thing. That just looks good. That looks good. So you can see it has plenty of room by the bumper for towing a trailer. All right, guys, cheers. We'll catch you on the next one.